Well, let's bring in our military analyst, Sean Bell, who joins me in the studio now. And Sean, Israel have targeted Hezbollah, some would argue, quite effectively over the last 2 weeks. What's the latest?
Yeah, good afternoon, Jane. As you've seen, the Beirut, these attacks continue. There's clearly quite a lot of devastation going on, and we've seen some explosions even this morning. Israeli Defence Forces claim that they've killed Suhail Husseini overnight, one of the Hezbollah commanders. He was responsible for weapons. He was also responsible for logistics and a member of the Jihad Council. The IDF claim that they also, as you said, expanding ground operations to the southwest of Lebanon as well. And we've got some footage that we're showing, we have got here, of some of the forces that Israel claim are massing at the border, ready to move across. Some of their reservists who are actually part of the division that's preparing. We're also awaiting the Israeli response to, obviously, the Iranian missile attack the other day. We don't know when it's going to be, but interestingly, Emirates Airlines have apparently cancelled all movements in and out of Iran for today.
And Israel today has also announced, as we just saw on those pictures, that it is actually on the ground in southern Lebanon. What does this really mean?
I think from a military perspective, there's two concurrent campaigns that are going on in the Lebanon at the moment from the Israeli perspective, absolutely coordinated. The first one is targeting Hezbollah command and control. It's trying to take out the logistics, their leadership targets, and with precision strike. It's intelligence-led, and I think it all goes back to, remember, the pages being blown, the walkie-talkies being blown. They now seem to have a very good idea of where the leadership are, and we can see some of them here. The most recent, Husseini in the middle here, has been taken out as well. The point is, though, that they've clearly infiltrated Hezbollah. They're causing carnage to the command of the control. It is worth saying, though, that, of course, Hezbollah is like a hydra. You chop off one head, another one will grow back. And interesting, Hezbollah said that there were no vacant positions in their command and control at the moment. A tip to the nod that they're filling them. The second part of this attack by the Israelis, though, is actually removing the threat to Israel's northern border. If we look at the map here, we can have a little look here. And part of this is that the population of the northern border were under threat because at the end of the last war, the Israelis were meant to move south of the blue line. This was a withdrawal line, not a border. Hezbollah were meant to move north of the Litani River, and that left this gap in between where if the Hezbollah were not there, it protected the Israelis down here. The trouble is Hezbollah moved straight back into it, and what Israel seems to be doing with these operations in the southwest is just pushing north. The trouble is the Hezbollah have had 2 decades to prepare their defences for this, and apparently there's all sorts of booby traps, houses blowing up when the Israelis go in. The Israelis are suffering pretty significant casualties. I
mean, is there an end plan? When will we know if Israel has been successful in what it's trying to achieve?
One of the challenges for the military is I don't know what the objectives are here. What's the metrics of success in this? When will they be able to declare victory? Here's apparently some footage released by the Israelis of them operating in that border region. The trouble is, it's a bit like a mangle, that the further the Israelis go in, the further their hand gets in the mangle, the more painful it becomes. History suggests that actually it's very, very difficult to do a land invasion of Lebanon. It's almost certainly not what they want to do. The other thing that we've got to look at is, of course, what is Israel going to do in response to the Iran attack that's coming up at the moment. There's lots of targets that Israel could choose to do. It's about energy infrastructure, military, or even nuclear. And, of course, as the dominant military power in the region, also, you know, the leadership in Iran will be very keen to do is to preserve their nuclear capability. But Prime Minister Netanyahu's got lots of options available to him. Interesting, in the news today, there was a bit of suggestion that the US and the UK might be helping Israel on this attack. Whilst it's possible, I think it's highly unlikely they do that. 2 reasons, one of which is from the UK perspective, they keep diplomatic ties with Iran. They will not want to compromise those because that's part of the peace process. And it's one thing helping defend Israel on the defence. It's quite another getting involved in the offence. That will be highly inflammatory, be pouring fuel on the fire. Very unlikely we'll see that happen.
OK, Sean, thanks very much.